Hello. Yes, now it's working. As Johan said, we're in for the final presentation. I hope you had a pleasant afternoon in the outbreak sessions. And I know there has been quite a few test drives of, a number of test drives of the new Tesla Model S. And as one of the leading motor magazines in Sweden said, they wondered why it's actually existing other cars than the Tesla. And I'm sure that those of you who tested the Tesla think the same, or? I'm going to invite Tesla to explain for us how they actually could achieve to have this kind of masterpiece out on the roads. So please welcome, he's a very tricky name, Peter Bardenfleth-Hansen from Tesla and Landon Mossburg. Give them a big hand.
Wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older.
Thank you. Right, well, thank you, Hans. And thank you, Telia Sonera, for putting on this, this event and Congress. Yeah, as you can see, name, please write it down, it's very long. Yeah, I have the pleasure of being the Scandinavian director for this fantastic journey that we're on currently. We're really, really excited to be here for several reasons. We have gone into a cooperation with Telia Sonera on connectivity. I'm going to let Landon talk about that in a moment. We're also looking at this as opening a new market. That's one of the great things in Tesla. We're not only pushing the boundaries of new technology, but we're also pushing the boundaries and frontiers for our own markets all the time. Sweden is a big new market for us, and we're extremely excited to be here. So before I really get started, I just want to quickly just say a quick note about the next 20 minutes or so. I'm going to shed a little bit of light on what Tesla is all about, a little bit about our history, about the Model S, and then I'm going to pass over to the much more intelligent young guy over here, Landon Mossburg, who's going to give you some insight into the world of connectivity. And if there's any time at the end, you can come down and talk to us if you have any questions pertaining to the car or Tesla as such. So we'll just go forward a bit here. I don't know if many of you watch sailing or America's Cup, but if you do, you'll know that Oracle is on everybody's lips. And yeah, congratulations. That was absolutely amazing. I mean, they produce fantastic products, and they really add spice to the world of sports. Anybody who's seen this amazing conquest that they did in September was where they took what was a complete defeat and turned it to a win, is sailsport history. Now, Tesla has done almost that in the last 10 years as well. I mean, we entered into a race where we were 120 years behind. And in less than a decade, we've caught up and we've surpassed the competition. So in order to give you a little bit more insight on what we're about, I would like to sort of show you what Elon here, our CEO, says. He says that we want to expedite the move from mine to burn hydrocarbons economy towards a more sustainable solar electric economy. And that might sound like a lot of science fiction, and I just want to make clear to everybody here that it's not like we're sort of green fanatics who believe that all evil comes out of oil. It's more a belief in simple reasoning and simple arithmetic. Most people will agree that if we continuously keep removing natural resources and do not replenish them, eventually we'll run out. Instead of waiting for this to happen, we are consciously trying to act now. Also, as pointed out by Elon Musk, burning things is generally not considered the most efficient way to use resources. We believe that that technology follows a proximity of a three-step curve, which is quite simple. But it was a plan that was set in 2006 when we did the first Roadster prototype. We entered a blog where we called it the Tesla Motors Secret Master Plan, and it's a three-step rocket. Develop a high-end performance sports car to prove that electric vehicles are both stylish and sufficient, and use said sports car to develop core intellectual property. We did that extremely well. Then, step 2, introduce a premium sedan that competes with brands like BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. That's where we are right now. And step 3, produce hundreds of thousands of low-cost premium electric vehicles for mass adoption. That's where we're going. And it sounds easy, and to a certain extent it is, if you have the driven ambition and money to follow. Now, we did have the ambition, and we had and have Elon Musk, who is an absolute stunning CEO that can really, really drive things to places where one would never believe we could go. But we didn't always have the wealth that luckily we have currently. Now, the Tesla Roadster opened those doors for us. It was a good-looking little sports car, hand-built. We did 2,500 of them. And we made it in order to prove a point. We wanted to show that we could build a car that could compete with any other given sports car and still be completely electric. Nobody believed we could do it, but we did. Now, that caught the attention of some of the big players on the market, Mercedes-Benz, Toyota, and our battery supplier, Panasonic, all of whom luckily decided to enter into partnership with us and enabled us to gather enough funds to go on to step 2, the Tesla Model S. Now, the Model S is not only a beautiful car, it redefines, as written here, the premium sedan. It seats 5 people, as you can see, plus enough room for 2 children in the back, all their luggage, and it still manages to propel you forward from 0 to 100 in 4.4 seconds. Now, show me any other car with all those statistics that can do that. And even more groundbreakingly, it can go up to 500 kilometers on one charge. The car was named Car of the Year by a Motor Trend, Automobile, and Yahoo. And Consumer Reports in the States tested the car vigilantly and came out with the conclusion that this was the best car ever built. Moreover, when it comes to safety, it has also exceeded all the safety regulations, and it has a 5-star safety all the way. We're still waiting to get the Euro NCAP, and we'll be expecting that in the early 2014. If we quickly just have a quick look at this. This looks extremely simple. And believe it or not, it is exactly that simple. So what we have here is we have the batteries in the bottom and the drivetrain, an inverter in the back. And it's all built in what we call the skateboard. Now, most of the weight is also in that bit of the vehicle, but that means that the gravity is extremely low, and it makes the handling of this car incredible. So anybody here who's been out on a test drive can be an ambassador to that. I'm pretty confident in that. Moreover, you'll see the drivetrain there. A bit quick there. The aerodynamics of this car, we've also spent a long time trying to get to a point where we actually made this car the most aerodynamic vehicle on the road of any sedan being sold currently. Amongst other things, by the flushed handles that pull in when you drive, and moreover the completely flat bottom that the car has, where the air then flows with ease underneath. One of the things that actually makes Tesla Motors and takes us to where we are today is the ability to move quickly. So when we entered onto the European market for the Model S, we quickly, it became apparent that we needed to assemble the cars in Europe. And actually this decision was made earlier this year. And within 5 to 6 months, we had built, produced, and made an assembly plant in Tilburg, and the first cars were delivered in beginning of August 2013 in Norway. And you can see we have delivered now in basically all of Europe. I can't divulge the exact numbers, but I can say that it is in the thousands. The interest is growing every single day. We have currently 31 locations worldwide, and we have another 50 plus planned by the end of 2014. So we're extremely busy here under at least three locations in Sweden, and this is within the next 12 months. Now, as you can see, we just went over this with the safety. I'll skip straight into the charging. Now, most people, when they speak about electrical cars, ask about the range, how long can you drive? And then the natural second question is, well, how quickly and where can I charge? Now, I generally brag about the fact that that the Model S can charge on anything. I mean, I quite like to say that we can charge right down to a simple Duracell battery. It's not quite true, but almost. I mean, it's the most versatile electrical car on the roads. We can charge with AC, you can charge with DC, you can charge with CHAdeMO, supercharge, you name it, we can charge with it. But the most exciting and groundbreaking of what I just mentioned is definitely our supercharged technology. Now, these superchargers are a way of being able to use DC current straight into the battery. And that means that we can do charging 20 times quicker than most common charging stations currently on the market. It means that we can fill up almost 50% of the range in less than 20 minutes. And this is something that we believe will be a complete game changer on the mobility of vehicles on the road today. Not only EVs, but on petrol-driven, diesel-driven, anything out there. Because the idea is that we are going to be placing these all over Europe. So we started up in Norway. These are, by the way, fully operational. We did the first ones in August this year. All these 6 that you see on here are fully operational, and they connect the 3 major cities, or rather 4, with Oslo being the hub, to each other. And this means that you can drive. There's exactly 500 kilometers between each of these cities, and you can drive between these cities and charge with 15, 20 minutes at each stop. Each of these locations is at either restaurant or cafe, any place that you can stop and just stretch your legs for a couple of minutes, and your car has then replenished at least 200 to 300 kilometers. But that's not the best part. The best part is that this is free. It's free for any Model S or Tesla owner, for that matter. So it simply opens up a completely new level of mobility. We're not only making it more efficient to drive, we're not only making it more environmentally friendly to drive, we're also making it free to drive. So you're saying, well, that's all well and done up in Norway, but we are moving forward. This is what's going to happen. This is actually what's happening right now. So by the end of this year, we'll be opening up these stretching all the way from the Benelux to the southern part of Germany and most of Switzerland as well. So by mid-2014, this is what it's going to look like. Note Sweden, Stockholm. There is actually going to be a connection there by mid as well to Copenhagen. And by the end of 2014, this is what it's going to look like. I know it looks like a bad rash, but it's in a good way. You're going to be able to drive basically from the far north of Norway, which is just from where we are now, almost 2,000 kilometers away, or Kiruna in Sweden for that matter, and all the way down to the southern part of Spain or Oslo without paying for fuel. I mean, have you ever heard anything like that? I doubt it. So with those happy words, it's almost like Christmas, I know. I'm going to pass over to this gorgeous guy here, Landon, and he's going to tell us a couple of things. Do you just want to introduce the film that we're going to watch?
Yeah. So my name's Landon Mossburg. I look after global connectivity and software partnerships for Tesla. But before I bore you with some words, why don't we watch a video that is a lot more interesting than me?
This is Model S, the world's first premium all-electric sedan. Incorporating some of the most innovative technical advancements in automotive manufacturing today, Model S is a game changer. One of the most captivating features of Model S is the 17-inch Tesla touchscreen display. A simple swipe of the interactive display opens the all-glass panoramic roof, the largest of any sedan on the market. A hyper-personalized experience, each Model S features real-time renderings that accurately depict the car's color, as well as the status of its doors, lights, and turn signals. With the active air suspension, Model S automatically adjusts ride height based on speed and vehicle load. The driver can manually raise the active air suspension to enter steep driveways, or lower it for easier cargo and passenger loading. Select the amount of power sent back to the battery by adjusting the regenerative braking settings. Standard will slow Model S quickly, offering more recharge, while low allows for easier coasting and less charge. Climate control in Model S works just like gasoline cars, only faster. Because cabin heating does not require engine heat, your passenger compartment warms up quickly. And since air conditioning is electric, use of AC does not take away driving performance. Designed to operate the latest music and multimedia programs, the Model S media player is second to none. Terrestrial and HD radio come standard, while internet connectivity and the Sound Studio package offer boundless web and satellite radio optionality. Model S was designed with meticulous attention to acoustics, likening it to a state-of-the-art sound studio. And with advanced personalization settings, you can fine-tune your listening experience in ways never before imagined. When equipped with Tesla's tech package, Model S takes standard GPS navigation to the next level. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. Internet connectivity couples online searches with native maps stored in the car's flash memory for an unrivaled navigation experience. The Energy app charts acceleration and regenerative braking patterns, while providing metrics to help understand and maximize energy efficiency from the last 5, 15, or 30 miles. And don't forget, with internet connectivity, Model S has all the benefits of a full web browser. When bundled with the tech package, Model S offers the industry's first full high-definition backup camera, optimized for ultimate visibility and safety. Up to 10 phones can be programmed and controlled through the touchscreen display, providing the ability to organize contacts with the ease of a smartphone. Optional voice controls can operate many touchscreen functions such as navigation, mobile devices, media controls, and more. Utilizing the instrument cluster along with the touchscreen offers drivers the opportunity to access up to 4 apps at a time. With the ability to activate most touchscreen functions through the steering wheel controls, you can stay connected while keeping focused on the road ahead. With these and many more functions right at your fingertips, the 17-inch touchscreen display is a breakthrough in automotive engineering and just another example of how Tesla is bringing you the car of the future today.
That music, I wish that I could use it to narrate my life and someone walk around playing it all the time. It'd be a great theme song. So. I wanted to show that video because I know everyone, or hopefully everyone, got a chance to see the car and play around with it, but there's so much richness in the infotainment system that it's sort of hard to pick up on unless you spend a really long time sort of getting to know the car. So I thought that video gave a good kind of general overview of what's possible now. So I want to kind of go quickly through how we use connectivity and then maybe start talking a little bit about what we see in the future. This, everyone's familiar with it now, is the instrument panel. We've got 2 LCDs in the car. The 17-inch multi-touch display, it's HD. You can pan the map around, you can pinch to zoom, and it's massive. So you can display 2 full apps there, maps and radio, or maps and the backup camera, or maps and a browser if you want to while you're driving. So that just having that much screen real estate allows us a lot of possibility with what we can put into the car. And when we're designing this thing, connectivity is an obvious thing to put in there, because if you have this much screen to work with, why not have the option to continually make it better, continually improve the product, and add content to it? So connectivity is central to that theme. we've sort of talked these things to death, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. The one thing that maybe is probably interesting just to touch on is the smartphone pairing is something that you probably don't get to do in the test drives, but I think it's really rich and really well done in Model S, and it's a good connectivity topic as well. So, you know, when you pair your smartphone, you can see through all your contacts, you can see through your media. The UI is optimized for it, so it's a really fantastic experience. And we also have contextual controls on the steering wheel. So the idea is, you know, you've got this great multi-touch screen display, but you don't necessarily want to always have to reach over here to do it. So I think we've done a really great job on the steering wheel to allow you to have all that control. So, you know, what you also have when you buy Model S is remote control out of the box. So a lot of other companies are doing this as well, and they contract with other people to do them, and that's great, and there's a lot of functionality with that. But we built our own, so this is all fully integrated. It's seamless, works really, really well. But what the app allows you to do is, if you have an Android or an iPhone, you can see what your car's current charge is. You can see if the doors are open. You can see if the lights are on. You can turn the lights off. You can close the sunroof or open it. You know, honk the horn if the car is stopped. Flash the lights if you're trying to find it in a parking lot. If it's really cold and you're landing from a flight, you can turn on the AC or the heat and heat it up before you get there. So it's really sort of a great sort of tie-in, and it's our first version, right? With all those features, it's our first version, and I think that's a general theme for Model S. It's our first version of this infotainment package, and honestly, I think we knocked it out of the park. It does all of this stuff out of the box. It does it incredibly well. It integrates it, makes it feel very, very natural. So that's all the infotainment stuff, and that's really great, and our customers love it, and hopefully you love it as well. I love it. But maybe what you don't always get just looking at the car is an idea about what's going on in the background as well, because we also use connectivity very deeply in the car to understand how the car is performing, understand if there's issues with the car, and try to remotely diagnose and remotely fix those issues if someone's called us. And this is all part of rapid customer feedback as well. So in addition to kind of remote diagnostics and that sort of stuff, we also do very, very frequent updates to the software. And those updates aren't just bug fixes and optimization and tuning and stuff. We do that, but we also do feature-rich updates. So if you watch in the video, they're sort of talking about how you're tuning the driving. A great example that I like to give about one of the things that we did here was customers were telling us, a lot of our customers came from automatic cars, so they had an automatic transmission. If you drive an automatic transmission, you know when you stop at a stoplight and you take your foot off the brake, it sort of creeps forward, right? And a lot of our customers sort of were used to that and they really liked it, but we don't have a gas car, so there's no reason for it to do that. But our customers wanted it, so we went to the firmware team and said, can you do this? And they said, of course, we can do it. So they pushed it out in a firmware update, and now it's an option on the car. So we do that sort of stuff regularly. We listen to customers, what they want, and we make the car better as it goes. So that's a really cool concept to me, because I don't think any other car really does this right now. It doesn't get better with age. Cars get worse with age, but Model S gets better with age. So that's a pretty cool thing, I think. So I would just want to talk a little bit about EV and connectivity as well, because I think it's important. Because there's a lot of connected cars, incredibly interesting area, and a lot of people are doing really great things in it. But what I think we're doing is really special because we are doing it on an EV platform, and that gives us options that just sort of people that have conventional combustion vehicles don't really have. So just real quick, this is the drivetrain. This is what makes the car go. The small cells on the left are lithium-ion cells. There are about 7,000 of them in that battery pack. And then the inverter, motor, and gearbox, that's all one thing. It's just highlighting different areas. And just that's what makes the car go, plus the wheels. So it's incredibly simple, but it's also all electrically interlocked. So all of this is run on software. It's all, there's not many moving parts. And what that basically means is, if we want to tune the motor, if we want to change the way the car drives, we can do that with a software update. We can, say, well, when you're stopped Model S, if they turn on this option, creep forward a little bit. That's not that hard for us to do, and we can push that out in a future software update. And that's unique to EV, because if I'm running a if I have a combustion engine, which this, by the way, is exactly the same as that in our car. So it's a little bit more complex, and if you want to tune that thing through a software update, good luck. It's not an easy thing to do, right? There's a lot more to break, there's a lot more to test, a lot more moving parts, and a lot more things to tune. So I think the message with EV is, one, we have incredible visibility into our product because it's simple, because it's so well integrated, and it's all electric, right? The less moving parts you have, the less mechanical pieces, the more you can influence that and change it and improve it through software and diagnose and fix it. So not only do we just naturally have less problems and less breakdowns in Model S because there's less moving parts, there's no filter, no oil, but if there are issues, we don't have to pull all these little parts out and check to see if one broke, right? We can do a software, we can ping the car, we can look in, and the software usually tell us if something's wrong. So that's where we are now, right? And I sort of talked about this at the beginning, but what excites me, I think, the most about Tesla and connectivity is not necessarily where we are now. It's incredibly exciting. I'd encourage you, if you didn't get a chance to test drive today, please definitely look up a store and test drive it, because I can show you all the videos. You can play with it sitting there, but honestly, when you drive it, you're not going to remember anything about connectivity. It's an incredible driving experience. But this is our second generation product, but in a lot of ways, it's our first real mass appeal, big launch product that's sort of fully fleshed and fully designed and all our own. So what excites me is if this is our first foray into EV, or into this sort of own designed, fully designed, integrated product, as well as connectivity and infotainment and all those things, what is our next step? So third generation, which is coming out in 2017, I'm immensely excited about it. I think it's going to be absolutely incredible, because it's going to have all the really great stuff from this, plus what we've learned from it and what our customers have told us that they wanted, and we'll continue to make all these products better over time. So I think partnerships like the one we have with TeliaSonera are vitally important to that mission, because you need great partners in these areas for us to do these really crazy, innovative things where we're pushing tons of data to the car and trying to give customers the most innovative, most interesting experience in the world. So, thank you guys again for inviting us out here, and I'm excited about Tesla. I'm excited about this partnership, and excited to see where this industry goes as a whole.